how to one-arm dumbbell row in 2 minutes or less. This is Blake with Kaizen Training and Nutrition.com, breaking down the one-arm dumbbell row. There's a really good variation in that it's unilateral, meaning it allows us to challenge one side at a time. It can be good for athletic performance because we get a little bit of rotation, and it can just be a nice way to really get your upper back and your lat involved that we might not feel as much when we're using 2 arms at a time. I'm going to break down the movement and show you some common deficits. A lot of people like to take this position. I don't recommend that. That puts your inguinal area in a suboptimal position. If you've ever had a hernia, or if you've ever heard of a hernia, you don't want one, so I wouldn't recommend that. What I like to do is take a staggered stance here. So if you think about throwing or any athletic performance, if I was going to throw with my left hand, I would step forward with my right foot and come over top. Same thing applies here. If I'm going to row with my left hand, I want you to step forward with your right foot. Take a fairly long stance. Keep your knees soft, and then you're going to hinge forward to your hips, so my back's going to remain flat. I'm going to perch myself on this here, and I'm just going to let the weight dangle. As you pull, I want you to think about pulling your elbow back behind your body and pulling your shoulder blade towards your spine. If you're keeping it pretty strict, I don't want your torso to move. All that should move is your arm and your lat. If you're going a little heavier, you can use a little bit of body English. If you do that, I want you to fight that eccentric portion on the way down. You can control more weight going away from your body or eccentrically than you can pulling. So sometimes it can be a useful strategy to pull with a little bit of body English, then control it back down. But you should establish that beforehand. Otherwise, you're turning what could be into progression into an ego session. And so you, your coach, all those things, you should discuss those beforehand. If you're interested in more nutrition, training, or coaching advice, check out the link below for Kaizen Training and Nutrition.com.